Good morning. Let's see why the EFL Cup held no appeal for me yesterday at all. A couple of examples. Birmingham 0, Port Vale 1, Bournemouth 0, Brentford 2. Just for starters. Some of the odds-on favourites did win, but you just don't know which sides are up for the cup or not. For example, Sunderland did concede against Huddersfield, did equalise eventually, but again, that's probably a good thing season long for Sunderland, isn't it? Stay in the Premier League rather than have this concerted cup run. So that's the problem playing a competition teams are not that enamoured with. Which sides are up for it and which sides aren't? 1.07 leads out. Newly promoted. What a coincidence. Wise moves. Get rid of this cup. Look at staying in the big time. As far as the Champions League is concerned, well, what an absolute show from Celtic. The momentum was flat throughout the second leg. We were warned with the first leg, and that's something you can now use for your research, perhaps, is to look at the first leg stats. I know I use my in-play stats here, but you can look at historical stats at soccer24.com. That was very useful for the Qarabag Almaty Celtic match. Only 3 shots on target first leg with home advantage for Celtic. Qarabag Almaty, dog with a bone yesterday. Something to hold on to. And boy, did they hold on to it. Superb performance. Paphos and Red Star Belgrade. Did Red Star score first? Because if Red Star scored first, that was 2-2 on aggregate. But if Paphos scored first, that's putting the leg out of their reach. Indeed, Red Star scored first. So arguably in this match, we could have laid the draw second half because of the need for Red Star to score first. But Yaya doing the job for Paphos. A very solid result for the Cypriot side. They've got a technique. I don't know if it will work with bigger names, but against the run of market expectation, they've now done Dynamo Kiev and Red Star Belgrade. Superb stuff. Sturm Graz and Bodo Glimt, as I suggested, possibility that Sturm Graz would get the win, but on aggregate, it wouldn't harm Bodo Glimt, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. Scottish Challenge Cup, again, like the EFL Cup, liquidity is an issue when you're trading. But how about any of the big boys? Well, Inverness, I think, coming from behind against Aberdeen B to get the win yesterday. Queen of the South, odds-ons, again, is what I would focus on. Kalmar didn't have a problem yesterday, scored first, and then Helsingborg were red-carded. So really, nothing doing yesterday. I think it was a right move not to play because we'll have got caught up with one or two of these which fell foul. Today, we're back largely around Europe with the Cup. Check this out, 1.01. The last 1.01 I saw drew 1-1, Boca Juniors against Auckland City. Got to be laid just for the fun of it, really, at the off. Anything can happen for Red Bull Salzburg. As is typical of some of these European sides, it's the sides from the bigger leagues, the better sides apparently, that are playing away from home in the Cup in Austria. As you can see, a large contingent of odds-on favourites, yes, in the Austrian Cup. In the EFL Cup, again, look at yesterday as a template for today, and that will give you an idea as to what to expect from the likes of Man United, Brighton, Fulham and Everton, all Premier League teams, all odds-on favourites. But team news is vitally important. Do these teams want to run? Well, for the sake of context, I think Manchester United will be looking for what is it, their first win of the season. So put this Grimsby match into that context, and we might see a competitive Man United today. They haven't won a match yet this season. They haven't scored 2 goals yet this season either. This is an ideal opportunity against English League 2, just to get the winning foot, even if they don't want an English Football League Cup run. I think in the context of the season, to get your first win under your belt will be vitally important. That could be the same for Fulham as well, been lacking the goals. Everton did get their first win of the season. So interesting in the EFL Cup, we've got the big boys out this evening. Are we going to see the same pattern? Well, yesterday's sides who didn't win, Leeds and Sunderland, were newly promoted to the Premier League. That's how important that competition is. Get this out of the way and off we go. So I think it will be interesting to see whether all 4 of these odds-on favourites are winning by the end of this evening. I have a feeling that 1 or 2 of these might go south. We will see. Champions League, again, first legs, scorelines, vitally important. Fotmob.com is your place for the first leg scorelines along with the score. So it's very useful indeed. As you can see here, 3-1 lead from Qarabag against Ferencvaros in the first leg. Benfica 0, Fenerbahce 0. That's the special one at work, at home, keeping Benfica quiet. Can he do that with Benfica's home advantage? Well, if anyone can, the special one can. He's been there, done that, got the T-shirt, got the 11 million quid a year. If anyone can do it, he can. But Benfica showed against Nice that they are a very smooth attacking unit. This is going to be attack v defence. You're going to be set up for a special 1-0-1, I would suggest, this evening. They'll take a 0-0, of course, go to penalties and extra time. Like Qarabag Almaty, you just never know, do you? But this Benfica are going to be hard work because they were already playing the Champions League earlier on in 2025, which is not a good sign for Fenerbahce. But is there 11 million quid a year on the special one going to pay off at some point? If you're still playing the Champions League at the early part of 2025, you are expected to go deep. 11th of March, Benfica was still involved in the Champions League. Okay? So that's just something to add context to today's Champions League second leg. Fenerbahce, that's why they've employed the special one, is to get a run in this competition. But they weren't involved at the start of the year. So Benfica, the inference here is that they are expected to go deeper into this competition. It's a fascinating tactical affair this evening. I'm not sure if it's a good trading candidate. We don't know. We can't discount the 0-0, can we, under the special one? Club Brugge and Rangers. Well, you just saw the absolute embarrassment of Celtic going out to Qarabag Almaty of Kazakhstan. Borat would be having sexy time over that result. And now it's Rangers' turn. And I think Rangers have proven already that they do have some fight in them. They do tend to look, well, ideally, they do tend to win their first leg matches in the Champions League 2-0, scoring 2 goals at least. But that was against Pulsen and Panathinaikos. And the Panathinaikos match was red-carded affair as well. But this looks a marked step up all of a sudden in Club Brugge. A 3-1 home win. Never really under any bother. And let's have a look at the first leg stats. You'll see if Rangers were smothered. So we go to the match. Rangers 1, Club Brugge 3. And you can look historically at the in-play stats, which I think is very useful. Overall, all in the second half. But overall, I think will just tell us who was the dominant force in which area. And you can tell that by the red. So 15 total shots for Celtic. Dominant there, but shots on target, 7 of them from Club Brugge, 3 of them converted. 9 corner kicks each suggested enough attacking strength from both sides of the pitch. Expected goals, 1.26 for Celtic. They did get the one. So on that basis, not a bad performance, but expected goals on target from Club Brugge, 2.41. The other key stats for me is shots inside the box. Well, this is a tad unlucky. So on another day, that's a key stat, isn't it? Hitting the woodwork for Rangers. Inches away from this scoreline being a lot more respectable at 2-3, 3-3. So that's an important stat to take this evening. 2 shots on the woodwork in the first leg for Celtic. I don't know if one of them was converted into a goal or not. Touches in the opposition box, 34-20, but just couldn't make them count. And goalkeeping as well would be vitally important. 34 clearances for Club Brugge. So they were kept under a little bit of pressure. And the goalkeeping saves, well, that tells its story as well, doesn't it? 4 goalkeeping saves to 0. So the key stat for me to take out of this match, I think, was hitting the woodwork twice for Rangers. That does suggest that we could be in for a bit of fun and games this evening with Club Brugge. It's a 2-goal deficit. When I see a 2-goal deficit for a second leg, you're automatically thinking that the side 2 goals down will be keen to make a breakthrough before half time. So we've got the possible half-time goal angle. I would look to get 15 minutes out of the match at 0-0. That could be a possibility with Benfica. With Club Brugge. They've already got the 2-goal lead. But you can see Rangers were competitive in that match. They had a lot of shots, a lot of touches inside the box. And they also had the 2 hitting the woodwork. Basel and Copenhagen, 1-1 from the first leg. Was there a dominant force in this particular match? Again, we can look to last matches in play stats to determine. And again, another under par performance post Champions League, or sandwiched between. You saw that with Odense, but they did get the equaliser. What they did in the Odense match is what they did in the last defeat domestically. That was rest El Nesri, I think it is, the big boy. He is required for them. So if he's playing this evening, which he will be, he is the major goal threat for FC Copenhagen. At 1-1, we can see 11 total shots, 6 shots on to 4. So defence is on top, you'd have to argue, in that first leg. Moving on down, expected goals similar. Expected goals on target similar as well. And in today's podcast, we'll be looking at expected goals. There are some expected goals websites, and I've got AI to read it for me. I'm not au fait with expected goals yet, but we'll be learning about it this season. It's starting to creep in to soccer24.com, as you can see. So we're looking at the goalkeeping chances, very similar, both under pressure, very solid goalkeeping performances. Could have been a different scoreline altogether. 16 clearances to 18, very similar. Defensively, touches inside the box, 18-24. So you can see it's a very tight match. So if it's a tight match, what does the market say today? Does the market give us any handle into today's performance? These two have known it deeper in the competition in the past, but they do look very well matched. The market has lurched towards FC Copenhagen, so that might be an important element for you to consider this evening. 3 odds on favourites at home. Benfica, Fenerbahce is the real puzzler. You don't know the tactics from the special one. Club Brugge and Rangers. Well, I would look for those 2 hitting the woodwork for Rangers as a possible value here. They have to score and score the next goal to make it 3-2, and that changes the whole complexion of that match. Larnaca against Brann. I think this was an absolutely comfortable Brann lead, wasn't it, in the first leg? We can pop down here and have a look. 1-2 for Brann. So, no, they came from behind. It was a trade which I didn't take. It ticked all the boxes, but well done to Brann. So second leg, I think with home advantage, Brann have already shown an ability to come from behind against AEK Larnaca, who must score first. 2.1, it's bit lukewarm, really. 2.1 Larnaca favouritism as well. I wouldn't have had that myself, because in the first leg, Bran did what was expected of them, as did Sparta Prague against Riga from Latvia. So 1.9 for them factors in that it's 2-0 head start already. DBF Pokal could be interesting for you this evening. Bayern Munich 1.04 against Fener Wiesbaden. Are we going to see Luis Diaz and Harry Kane out and about? And Celta Vigo and Betis. It's two sides not having the best starts of the season in La Liga. These two look far too well matched for it to be a trading match for me this evening. Celta Vigo, though, I expected home advantage to be far more telling for them. It was key to their success last season, but they've already lost their opening match against Getafe with 2 consecutive wins away from home as well, Getafe. Mallorca against Celta Vigo. I think Celta were leading that match and Mallorca equalised late on. So not got going yet, Celta Vigo. You can look at their home matches. They're used to a few W's there, as you can see. Head-to-heads, well, the last 2 have been both teams to score and Celta Vigo win. The last 3 have seen Celta Vigo win. Are you going to favour them on that basis? We can have a look at Real Betis. Down here. No. Let's go overall and then go down to Betis here. And you can see 1-1 draw away at Elche, who started the season very strongly indeed. They got, I think they got that win, did they, against Atletico Madrid, and a 1-0 home win against Alaves. So a good start, and it looked defensively solid. But what we're suffering from is too small a sample to make any firm pre-match predictions. It's probably one of those matches I wouldn't be trading. These two look far too similar this season. And we've only got 2 matches to work off. Head-to-heads could give us something. This evening, again, we're suffering from a lack of trust in the EFL Cup. 5:45, I'll be up as I was for the Celtic match yesterday. But this is Qarabag and Ferencvaros is, I think, less of a puzzler. Qarabag dominant from the first leg. But it's a really good Champions League this evening. Real head scratches. Some angles in, certainly. I'll be around 5:30, I think, Larnaca and Bran. Interesting to see why Larnaca are a favourite, 2-1 down to a Bran who came from behind. So some angles. So I'll see members from 5:30 p.m. today. Again, don't expect much of anything this evening. It all depends on how the Premier League sides especially approach the EFL Cup. I would suggest we're going to be seeing complete changes to all 4 Premier League teams this evening. But contextually, Man United would be, I think, keen to get their first win of the season against a team they should be beating. Have a great day, and I'll see members from 5:30.